Turtle Power Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
God, I love being a turtle!
I flippin' love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990. This is the real Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, and I don't care how much it's aged, to me, it still stands the test of time. So let's fanboy out together about the 1990 movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and this is my spoiler talk theological review for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 1990 movie. Oh, I'm so excited to talk about this movie, and this comes as a double subscriber request because Chris Yeager, he posted on my Facebook page that I should review one of my favorite childhood movies. And then you have Sean Butler, and he posted on my YouTube channel that I should review Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990. Boom! These are like one and the same. I have a lot of favorite childhood movies, including Batman 1989, Superman with Christopher Reeve. I got a lot. But at one time or another, I've talked about those movies already on my channel, and I realized I haven't talked about this 1990s Ninja Turtle movie. Well, we are fixing that problem right here, right now. I also want to say a huge cowabunga to Glenn Zaw, a new patron of mine on Patreon. Glenn, thank you so much for jumping on board and supporting Durbania monthly. It means so much to me. Thank you. If you guys are interested in supporting Durbania, I have the link to my Patreon page in the description. So my grade for this movie is a solid A.
Cowabunga!
Is that nostalgia talking? Yeah. What's wrong with that? It's total nostalgia talking. When I was 6 years old, I was beyond excited to see this movie. I had dreams about it. And then finally I saw it on opening night, and I was not disappointed. This movie was flippin' amazing to me then as a 6-year-old, and now, wow, 30 years later, I just watched it on Netflix today. And to me, it totally holds up. Yes, the jokes are a little bit dated, the look is a little bit dated, the movie came out in 1990, but there is still a very timeless quality to this movie that even the topical jokes of 1990 fit so well the personalities of the Ninja Turtles that it's really okay. You just realize, yes, it's a product of its time, but it's a good product of its time.
It was a shell of a good hit! Whack! I like it! Step up!
If you haven't seen this movie, and you're kind of maybe you're stained by the most recent Ninja Turtle movies that come out, wipe those from your mind and check out this movie from 1990. It was done so incredibly well on so many levels. On level number one, the costumes, the puppetry. I mean, when you take a look at those Ninja Turtle costumes, you have to think about this. Those were real dudes that had to put on those gigantic costumes with the gigantic turtle shells. They had to wear those masks, and you could tell they're masking. It's funny because in certain scenes you can kind of see the wrinkle between the face and the neck, which is really the mask attaching down to the neck. And you could definitely see stuff like that and see that it's a costume, but who cares? Because here they are wearing these great big heavy costumes. I question how well they could even see through those darn masks. And they're doing martial arts, they're doing backflips. The fight scenes between the Ninja Turtles and the Foot Clan look incredibly good.
Woo! Come on! Come in!
So when you think about that, it's these guys actually doing martial arts in these huge, heavy costumes. The other thing that's cool about those huge, heavy costumes is it brings it into reality. Now, I didn't dislike the 2014 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. I didn't dislike that at all. Yeah, it's definitely not the strongest of the Ninja Turtle films. It's also definitely not the weakest of the Ninja Turtle films. I didn't mind the CGI. I think it looked good. I totally respect the motion capture and the motion capture performances and all that stuff. But there's a certain reality that you get brought into when there's an actual person there in an actual turtle costume.
Hi!
And so here I am watching this movie feeling like I'm actually with my Ninja Turtles. I felt that when I was 6 years old, and I still feel that now. Like, I remember being 6, and I was so excited that when I saw them on the big screen, it was my turtles, like their personalities and everything. So on top of the costume, the other thing that was cool, the voice work and then the performances of those in the costume, it worked together so well because they had the mannerisms down of Leonardo, the leader, Donatello, the inventor, Michelangelo, the party dude, Raphael, the kind of angry, rebellious one. So they had it down in the mannerisms, but they also had it down in the voice work. They captured the essence of each of the personalities of these Ninja Turtles perfectly. And so when I was a kid, I didn't really feel any weirdness going from my animated Ninja Turtle show that I loved to these live action Ninja Turtles. I felt like their personalities just seamlessly carried right over in this movie. And watching it today as an adult, I still felt that. I still felt like these are the Ninja Turtles. These are their personalities, and they nailed it. Like even April O'Neil in the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, I really like her. She's so good. Casey Jones.
Now, you guys mind telling me what you're doing with my little green pal over there?
That dude is so great in this movie. Cricket?
Nobody understands cricket. You gotta know what a crumpet is to understand cricket. I'll teach you.
Casey Jones showing up at that fight scene where Raphael's knocked unconscious and they burn down April's father's store and April loses all of her memories and all that stuff that they just kind of gloss over, that she lost everything that was so precious to her. It was actually kind of sad, really. But glossing over it again here, even in this review, when Casey Jones even shows up in that moment, are you picking on my little green friend here? The way he's portrayed in this movie, I love it. He fit the personality of the Turtles. It fit as a cool love interest between April O'Neil and him. Like that whole chemistry was there. It was there between the Turtles, Casey Jones, and April, and it was completely consistent in that feeling from beginning to end.
What are these freaks?
The Shredder. My gosh. When I was 6 years old and they introduced the Shredder, and you hear that, bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. And then you had that long shadow of the Shredder on the floor as he's walking down that hallway. The camera does that spin around him while his, number one dude there, like, removes the cape off his shoulder spikes one at a time as it pans around and you see that creepy little mouthpiece face mask there and that awesome sleek helmet and that really just cool overall costume. Oh my god. And then he talks. This was a great Shredder. Just absolutely fantastic. He gave me the chills then, and even though I will be honest, as a grown-up watching it back, I've seen the movie so much now that no, I didn't quite get the chills, but nonetheless, nostalgia takes over, and I always lean forward in my seat a little bit more in that scene when we're meeting the Shredder for the first time in this movie, because the music, his look, his voice, the performance, all of it worked together. So I feel like it was lightning in a bottle, especially in this first movie. Between April O'Neil, Casey Jones, the four Turtles, and the Shredder, you take all of these things together, the chemistry, it was there. It just worked. And of course, Splinter. I mean, great puppetry work with Splinter. Great voice work with Splinter. He was that wise, fatherly character, and you can't help but love him as the Turtles love him. So you take all of that, and it just fits. And it's called Ninja Turtles, so they gotta be doing ninja. So like I said earlier, the fight scenes are really good looking. This might sound odd, but my favorite fight scene, well, one of them, but one of the ones that's just really high up there for me is when Raphael's in the subway and April O'Neil is being mugged by the Foot Clan because they want to silence her, and they kick his sai out of her hand. And then you see his hand reach out behind the pillar and pick it up, and then he just lets it that yell, and you get that POV shot of him as he's running straight at the Foot Clan and beats the ever-living tar out of them. It's a short fight, but it's really cool. And then the rooftop fight where they knock out Raphael. I mean, as a kid, Raphael was my favorite turtle. He still is my favorite turtle. It still hurts me inside that he spends a huge chunk of the middle of this movie in a coma, but they beat him senseless on that roof, but he gives them a good fight. And then when you have the rest of the turtles fighting, I like it because their one-liners are cheesy and cornball, and I do cringe a little bit when I hear their one-liners.
Looks like this one's suffering from shell shock.
Too derivative.
Boy, I guess we can really shell it out.
Too cliche.
Yet, that's just the personality of the turtles. They are cheesy. They live in a flippin' sewer. They're not out socializing. Of course their humor is gonna be cringeworthy because they are only for the first time hanging out with other people in this movie, but it's a great mix of their humor and their one-liners, but really cool martial arts as they're fighting. And again, you can't help but respect these guys in these giant turtle costumes fighting. But the best fight with the music and everything is at the very end when they're facing off Shredder on the roof. Oh my gosh.
This guy knows where Splinter is.
And they all charge him at once to fight him one at a time. This is where I'll touch on some of those things that are little weaknesses to me, because really, you get here and you start to question some things. So I wrote down just 3 of the questions that popped in my head. Question number 1. Why do the turtles fight Shredder one at a time?
At exactly what point did we lose control here?
I got him.
Why don't you go next?
Thank you.
Match you for it?
I know, they're probably trying to keep it a fair fight and they're trying to be honorable, but this guy has Splinter. They need to save Splinter in New York City, okay? Take him on all at once. You are giant turtles with shells. You could smush him. How did Shredder's katana only just kind of harm Splinter's ear? That was a grown man with a katana. Not only should it have totally cut off Splinter's ear, but it probably should have cut Splinter in half because he was an unmutated rat at that time. The dude should have been cut in half. Another question, don't the turtles smell? I had a pet turtle once. It stunk up the whole room that it was in, and it wasn't even living in a sewer. It was a tiny, tiny turtle, and it stunk up the whole room. These are giant turtles that live in a sewer, and here April O'Neil's boss comes. They all hide in April's apartment, and you would think April's boss would walk in and go, "What is that smell?" But when you really stop and think about it, it's giant talking turtles that know martial arts and learned everything they know from their father, who is a talking rat. And then you go, oh, that's right. None of those questions matter.
All fathers care for their sons. I love you all, my sons.
One of the things that I love about this movie is the story and the message that this story conveys, because I feel like it shows you what a false family is versus what a true family is. And it gives you a good look at true family through the turtles themselves. They're brothers. Now, they have these distinct personalities, and they all get along for the most part, except for, like, Raphael and everybody else, because he's the angry one and the angsty one, but they're brothers. And in spite of those differences that they have, they love each other. When you meet Splinter, you know right away, this is a father who loves his children. This is a father who gives sacrificially. This is a father who's trying to prepare them for the world, so when the day comes that he passes on, I know he's a mutated rat, but I mean, he could still pass on any time. They could be ready to live without him in independence and strength. He's doing what a good father could do, and right there you see it. You see a loving family operating as one unit, as one body. Their different gift mixes working together to create this powerful fighting force that they are.
Together, there is nothing your four minds cannot accomplish. Help each other. Draw upon one another.
And then you take a look at the Shredder, who is a false father in this movie. What he's preying on is the brokenness of the youth in New York City. He's preying upon their fatherlessness, their brokenness, their hurt, their pain. He's drawing them in with honey. I mean, when you first see the Laird, they got this cool like skate ramp and skate park in there. They have all the arcade machines. So he's luring them in with honey. Come here and do whatever you want, whenever you want. Here, you are free. And then through that, he lures them into basically the cult, the clan, the Foot Clan, and they become soldiers of the Shredder. But Splinter says it best, so I'm not even gonna try.
The Shredder uses you. He poisons your minds to obtain that which he desires. He cares nothing for you or the people you hurt.
So you get it right there. Shredder is just using them to get what he wants. He doesn't care about them. He doesn't care about how they're hurt. He doesn't care who they hurt. What he cares about is getting what he wants and preying upon their pain and their hurt to get it. I mean, even have that scene where Shredder's second in command is angry that they lost that first battle against the Turtles, and he just beats the tar out of the Foot Clan. So through that, you see the Shredder and his number one's like mentality towards the Foot Clan, and so towards the actual people of the Foot, they have no love, nor sympathy, nor care for them. They're there to be foot soldiers, and they'll do what they need to make those foot soldiers feel special and wanted just so that they can be used, which to me, that's the devil. The devil preys upon this broken world. He wants to prey upon our hurt and our fears. And that's what Splinter's trying to teach the Turtles. He's trying to teach them to have mastery over their mind. In the Bible, it says God has not given us a spirit of fear, but he's given us power, love, and a sound mind. So Splinter's trying to teach them that mastery over their mind so that they could have that sound mind, so the enemy has less to prey upon in them.
I love you all, my sons.
And that really becomes the strength of the Turtles, that they know how loved and valued they are by their father. They know how loved and valued they are by each other. They know they are this cohesive family. So Shredder is the false father using the youth to get what he wants. Splinter is a true father, giving strength to his sons and letting them know their true value. God is the good father, who so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him will not perish, but have everlasting life. Jesus didn't come to condemn the world, he came to save the world through him. He is the good father. God wants us to know how dearly beloved we are, how valued we are, so greatly valued that Jesus willingly sacrificed his life for us. Just as this movie is about Splinter being kidnapped, and so the Ninja Turtles are seeking their father with all that they are, God makes a promise to his kids. If you seek me with all your heart, you will find me. What did you think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1990? Did you see this movie? Did you like it? Let's talk about that in the comments. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button to become a Durbanian, and hit that bell by the subscribe button so you're notified the next time I drop a movie review, ranking video, theological analysis, or anything else I do here. And again, Glenn Zaw, thank you so much for jumping on board as a new patron of Durbania. I greatly appreciate your support of my channel. Thank you so much. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.